Hi, everyone. We are going to wait just a few seconds for some people to hop on, and then we'll go ahead and get started with the webinar. So thanks for your patience. Just a few more seconds here. We want to make sure that everyone is able to join. I still see people coming in, so. Okay, we'll go ahead and just get started. So hi, everyone, and welcome to the Reading Your Buyer's Mind webinar. My name is Alex Charney, and I'll be your host today. Thank you all for joining us. Before we start, I did want to go over just a few quick housekeeping items. Number one, there will be a Q&A session at the end of the webinar, so you'll have a chance to ask us questions using the Q&A function at the bottom of your screen. We're going to do our absolute best to answer all of the questions, but if we don't get to yours, we will have someone reach out with the answer, so don't panic. Number two, we will make this recording available to you on demand, so you can always watch it back later if you miss anything. Three, if you would like a one-on-one demo of Touchpoint Ignite, you can type the word Ignite into the chat, also found at the bottom of your screen, or you can fill out a form on our website and someone will get back to you. Last but not least, there will be a drawing at the end of this webinar, so engage with us as much as you can as we put up surveys and polls. It could be your lucky day because the winner is going to get an iPad mini. And again, that will happen at the end of the webinar. So make sure that you're engaging with the polls and surveys to enter for your chance to win. I am happy to introduce you to my colleague, Paige, who is a senior account executive here at Certain. He's going to tell us what it means to read your buyer's mind through event data analytics and how that can truly impact your business. Then Bruce Russell, a senior product manager, is going to give you a demo of Touchpoint Ignite. He's going to show us how event data coupled with technology empowers you to truly get to know your audience. Paige, Bruce, great to have you both.
Yeah, thanks, Alex. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, thanks, Alex. It is great to be here. I want to welcome everyone who's joined us here. I appreciate you all being here today and hope that you'll walk away knowing that what your event data can do for you, and hopefully how you can understand how easy it is now to drive business outcomes from your events. Before we get started, I'd love to see where everyone is joining us from. Using the chat box in Zoom, tell us where you're logging in from. Don't be shy. It's great to know kind of where everyone is around the world today. Okay, I see someone here from Chicago. Awesome, welcome. Napa, California, Minneapolis, Long Island, New York. Welcome. That's great. San Francisco, thanks a lot for being here. I'm excited to talk to you about Certain's mobile event apps today. We want to leverage the chat and a lot in our webinars so that it gives you a chance to share your thoughts, ask questions. Do you have anything else to add, Alex?
Yes, I would like to go ahead and start off with a quick poll just so we kind of get a sense of where everyone's at with their event journey. You're going to see 3 questions pop up on the screen, so take your time to respond to those. The first question is, how many events are you planning to host this year? So please let us know how many in person, how many hybrid, and how many virtual. Question number 2 is, are you using an event app for your meetings and events? That's a multiple choice question. And the final question is, has your budget for events increased or decreased since last year? So we'll give you just a few seconds to answer those. And again, we really appreciate your feedback on that. Okay, we're still seeing some people going through the poll, so we'll just give, a few more seconds. We want you guys to make sure you're able to answer. I am interested to see the results. Okay, just a few more seconds. So if you're wrapping it up, we're going to close the poll in a few seconds. And we're going to close it. Thank you guys for your feedback. We are going to pop the results up here on screen. So it does seem like a lot of people are going back to in-person events, which is really exciting. That's pretty in line with what we've seen from a lot of our clients over the course of the last year or so. People are going back to those in-person events, but of course, hybrid and virtual events do remain a staple on a lot of people's event program. It seems like some of you are using event apps already for your meetings, but there are some of you that are not currently using an event app. So hopefully you guys gain some insight from this webinar on how event apps can help you achieve your event program goals. And finally, we're seeing about everyone has roughly the same or decreased budgets for their events this year. So it's probably even more important that you're getting a lot of ROI on the events that you're able to put on with that budget. So thank you again for your feedback on those polls.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for responding to the poll questions. So let's dive in. We all know that events take a significant portion of your marketing budget, and ROI doesn't simply boil down to numbers. The real value of events reside in the wealth of opportunities they offer you to better understand your buyers.
And getting to know your buyer goes far beyond data collection. To truly read your buyer's mind, it starts with the right data and the right event technology to help you effectively capture, analyze, and transform that data into a competitive edge for your business. I'm going to hop over to Paige and show you an example of what this could look like in the real world.
Yeah, let's dive into an example. So let's say you're a major enterprise level company who's been sending daily promotional emails, hoping that your prospects would open the email and take actions. Eventually, you decide to take a more data-driven approach by analyzing 2 years of purchasing history. This comprehensive review would include factors like purchase frequency and the digital pathways that your customers followed, distinct buying patterns, etc. This level of insight will allow you to segment your customers a lot more effectively by tailoring your emails to align more closely with your buyers' preferences. This underscores the importance of leveraging data and technology, not only to identify the right audience, but also to pinpoint the right moments for engagement and targeting. Alex, you want
Okay, sorry, I think I blipped out there for a second.
to?
Thank you, Paige, for that. So when hosting an event, it's really important that you're capturing the right engagement data points and that you're doing so at every single event interaction, so that the moment they open your email to when they're registering, to downloading the event app and so on. For examples, what sessions they attended, did they respond to a poll or a survey question, did they participate in a badge game, attend a product demo, or if they consumed your content.
Right. This really allows you to get to know a little bit more about your buyer at each touch point until you gain a clear understanding of who they are and what they like. Event technology can empower you to anticipate your buyers' preferences and interests, allowing you to tailor your marketing efforts and create events that resonate deeply with your audience.
Okay, so I've noticed that a lot of what we've discussed has focused on individual attendees. So let's look at how this could play out across an entire event portfolio.
Yeah, great idea. Now imagine capturing all of that data that we just talked about, but not just for one attendee, but for all of your attendees, and doing so at scale. So you get to know your buyers across your entire event portfolio on a global level. When data is collected and analyzed on a global scale, it provides a more comprehensive understanding of diverse attendee groups. This will enable you to gain a much deeper insights into your buyer signals as a whole, going beyond understanding just individual attendees.
You're going to end up getting a macro level view of the overall attendee base, identify trends and patterns that occur across different events. This can help in tailoring marketing strategies, optimizing event content, improving attendee experiences, and ultimately even guiding the planning of your future events. What's more is that by making your events more data-driven, you'll continually improve the entire event experience. So you might be asking, how can I get this? We're going to show you a demo of our latest AI-powered event app, Touchpoint Ignite.
Yep, but before we jump into the demo, let me take a moment to tell you what is Touchpoint Ignite. It is an intelligent event app designed to transform your attendee engagement data into deep audience insights. It captures buying signals before, during, and after the event, providing a 360-degree view of your audience behaviors that transpire at each stage of the life cycle. The app is integrated with event intelligence and an AI conversational interface that empowers organizations to drive greater revenue and results from each one of their events. I'll have Bruce show us an example of what we're talking about. Hey, Bruce, can you show us how this all works?
Yeah, thanks, Paige, of course. Let me just bring up my screen and give you a little test drive. So we've talked about Touchpoint Ignite as this, vehicle for driving transformative insights into the minds of your buyers. But what does that mean in practice? How do you enact this, right? So what I'm bringing up here and what I'm going to show you is our event app platform. I think, in the past, it's easy to overlook the event app as something that, you bring up to get the schedule. You maybe check the Wi-Fi password, see when the shuttle's showing up when you're on site, and it can easily be dismissed as just that, right? But I think we've learned and grown to realize that it's so much more than that now. It's the hub for your organization. It's the home base for interactive collaboration and learning. And it's really a direct point of access into the hearts and minds of those people that you need to communicate with most. And what I want to show you today is just a few of those tools that we offer and how you can leverage them to really drive those insights, get that data in a more meaningful way, in an easier way, and a more robust way than we might have been doing in the past. So we have a lot of tools within our platform that let you host content, garner interaction, have news, spotlight stories, polls, all that jazz is within our capabilities here. And we can use those to really elevate the data story that we get out of these events. I think historically in the past, for us in the events industry, it's easy to fall into the trap of how do you get the insight? How do we measure the success of this event? We do it with a survey, right? We go and we ask our attendees, our constituents, how did we do? Did you get a lot of value out of this? What did we do good? What did we do bad? And you put it in a survey. I don't know about you, but I'm never super jazzed to complete a survey. You're probably going to have to coerce me. You're probably going to have to twist my arm behind my back, bribe me even to complete this survey. And I'm just not going to be super motivated to give you the insight that you want out of your attendees, right? So we have grown over time to think of the event holistically as a way to get this information, not just a survey. So we can do a lot more these days to make that more interactive, more meaningful. And it starts by thinking of your app as not just this digital pamphlet, but it's an experience that you start well before the event. You engage people in the topics of discussion before they're ever even on site, and let them create, these engaging interactions that help them, but also drive that data. So let's go look at some of our social features. I think that's one of the big pillars that we have at our disposal to drive some of this data. We have a lot of different ways you can engage people socially in our platform. You have activity feeds, photos, photo walls. You got discussion boards. People can comment and like throughout the application. And all of that tells a story, tells us more about the people that are coming to our events and interacting. So we can use that as a tool to gain this insight. So I want to look at one such interaction and just get you thinking about this from our data-driven approach, from our event intelligence driven approach. So this is a discussion board right here. You can host these discussion boards through our platform. And just by thinking of these as another tool to drive that engagement data, we can see that with questions and answers and content that's going to be fun and interactive. People are going to see this and want to interact, but also get information out of it. So this example says, does anyone else feel like this is the busiest season we've had in our industry? I am worn out. So it's fun, it's playful, invites them to like, comment, interact in a social setting, as opposed to a survey question that they have to go back and answer. But it does give us those measurable results. We learn about the people that are engaging the most. We learn about their organization, their industry. And you can do similar things for session feedback, for speakers. You can talk about, oh, was that a great speaker or what? And all of that feeds back into this data engine and presents itself in a way that's super easy to understand. So that's the social aspect. I think that's one of the main pillars. The other pillar that I want to kind of shift focus on and talk about briefly is just content. We have a ton of ways to host content in the application. So if you're looking at the event app experience, this is our web app here. You can imagine you could have documents, you could have links to outside resources on the web, you could have reading materials, news feeds like I was talking about. And we also have ways to attach reading information to your agenda sessions. Now, it sounds boring on the surface of it, like, oh, well, of course, yeah, you can have a slideshow, whatever. What does that do for me? Well, what it does for you, they come here to participate in the polls and the surveys and all that. But you can also use that content to gain insight into your buyers, your constituents, your attendees by being thoughtful about how you present it. So if you present it to different segments of your audience, you can learn who is interacting the most, who is the most engaged, how to frame your conversations to make it impactful when you're communicating with them. So this has a couple of resources attached that are geared towards a marketer's guide to data, or a sales executive's guide to data. And as they come to this session and consume this media, they'll click on one of those and they'll be telling you about themselves. They'll be telling you, hey, I'm a marketer and I was very interested in this session because I went and I've tried to read that material. So it's really about building out that data set and just feeding it all into this engine and getting a lot of meaningful interactions without it ever feeling like work for your attendees. They just want to naturally consume this stuff. They're going to click around. They're going to do this stuff naturally. And you don't have to twist their arm to get those interactions that might have been, delegated to that survey in the past. So what does that mean at the end of the day? Well, how do you extract that data? In the past, you might have had to go and get a dedicated report, extract that data in a spreadsheet, figure out what that means, decide how to take actions on that. But today we've driven to kind of automate a lot of that and elevate it with AI. We've created this event intelligence dashboard. And what that does is give you insight alerts in real time when you're putting on these events. It gives you a macro view of all the people that are coming to the event, where they're coming from, their engagement level, and also lets you go from that macro view all the way down to some of the more micro views of the different data that we were putting into the event platform. So I'm going to drill down a little bit into the engagement portion of this dashboard and see what we have there. So all that engagement data we were collecting throughout our event feeds into this and presents itself in an easy to use event intelligence dashboard. You can see sentiment and summary analysis. You can quickly see what the event felt like to people. It gives you a nice little summary, as well as just a word cloud of all these important words that were being spoken in the free form text throughout the application. And it presents itself in blue or red, depending on the sentiment, positive or negative. Great way to get an overview. We also have this engagement summary in the top right. Lets you quickly see the different things that you were doing, whether it's links, polls, resources like those PDFs we were talking about, which one of those things were garnering the most interactions. It's a great way to double down on what's working and, maybe shift away or change some practices on things that weren't. Then we have our session analysis, lets you see which ones were getting the most participation, the most positive feedback, negative feedback at a glance. And then also, engaging content right here. And again, you can drill down into this even further. I'm going to expand this engaged content a little bit and talk about that here. So you can imagine, we were talking about those reading materials on the session. That would all bubble up here. We have insight into what was the most popular videos, most popular resources, links, badge game, things that they were doing in the badge game and interacting with. It all gets bubbled up here, so you can quickly see it at a glance. So you can imagine this is a different event, but we'll see, trends. We'll see information just naturally present itself. I see that sustainable growth and business owners are topics here. Business growth, case studies and insight, business success. So these people are resonating with the story of how do I drive my business forward? How do I strategize? You can quickly find trends and insight by looking at this dashboard. So we think this dashboard, this event intelligence AI-driven dashboard, is just a much more powerful and easy to use tool that will save you time and money instead of going off and finding those reports, collecting them, collating them, stapling them together, ending up on someone's desk. This is easy, fun, and interactive.
Great. Yeah, that's very powerful. What if I'm looking for specific insights that I don't see in the dashboard?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we did our best to make this as intuitive and useful as possible and think about the things that matter most for events, but it's not going to all be captured here. There's going to be things that you want to know that aren't going to be in one of these views. So what we do in conjunction with this is provide you with a natural conversational experience. So if you're in our event app platform here, you can have this little widget at your disposal at any time, and you can ask natural language questions. So now in this platform here, I have access to a number of events, but I might want to know what was the most recent event on the topic of data. So I'm going to pop that into the chat window here and send it off to our AI agent, see what it tells me. Now I know, because I've looked at this account, that it is this data intelligence forum that I'm looking at right now. But the AI, let's test it and see if it knows. So it's going to get back to me, and yep, there it pops up, and we see that it's telling me that was the most recent event with that topic. So it lets you capture data, get insights into stuff that might not be in that dashboard. I'll pop another one in there just as an example. Let's see, what are the most discussed topics? Let's find out. So this is kind of the yin to the yang of that event intelligence dashboard. It lets you just ask anything you can think of and really, get that information in a different way. So you can see it pops up with most discussed topics there in a little list. Yeah, it's just another tool at your disposal. So we're really thinking about it all the way from, pre-event, during event, post-event. Let's think about it as this data engine that just drives more event success, gets that meaning and insight out of the event easier, faster, and more thoroughly than ever before. So that's what it's all about. And hopefully, this brief overview gets you thinking about your events differently in the context that we now think about it in this event intelligence world. With that, I'll send it back to you, Alex.
Great. Thank you so much, Bruce. Now that you've seen what this app can do for you, we want to know what you think. So there's going to be one last poll that pops up here on screen. You should see that in a few seconds. Question number 1 is going to be just please provide some feedback on the demo. You can click as many as apply to you. Question number 2 is, what do you think about the conversational AI portion of the demo? Question 3, how do you currently get business insights out of your events? It's okay if you don't currently, we just would like to know. And finally, you can write anything you want in the box. What other features and benefits would you like to see in an event app? So we'll give you a few seconds to go over those, and then we'll head on to the final portion of the webinar. Okay, we'll give it a few more seconds here. And we'll wrap that up. So thank you so much for your participation. We really appreciate it. Just to wrap things up here, I did want to take a few seconds to go over why Touchpoint Ignite. 1, because Touchpoint Ignite is an intelligent event app designed to effectively capture, analyze, and transform your audience engagement data into actionable insights. Number 2, you're getting buying signals at your fingertips and gaining a 360-degree view of audience behaviors at every stage of the event and at scale. And finally, as you just saw, it's an AI-powered conversational solution that empowers you to make data-driven decisions both effortlessly and swiftly with context-rich insights. If you're ready to get started, go ahead and type the word Ignite in the chat box and we'll get connected with you after this. Or as I mentioned, you can always reach out to us via our website. We are going to go through some questions from our audience with some of our remaining time here. So if you have any questions, please go ahead again and put them in the Q&A section at the bottom of your screen. We have our first question from the audience. Do you offer guidance on asking the right questions that will lead to actionable insights?
Yeah, I can take that, Alex. Yeah, we offer templates to templatize the questions that you ask to get more data and insight out of your attendees. We also offer professional service to just kind of guide you through the process as well. So yeah, we have a couple different ways we can help you out.
Okay, great. Second question I'm seeing is, I host events that are not designed to necessarily sell a product. How can this help me achieve goals?
Yeah, I can take that as well. Yeah, I think some context would be helpful. Yeah, when we talk about buyers, we don't just mean selling products. I think when we're talking about buyers, we want to encompass everybody. So you're all selling some sort of information, some sort of domain knowledge. It's really about gaining insight to whether that's resonating with them as a buyer of your domain knowledge as well. So yeah, this I think applies across the board to all of us, really.
Great, thank you for that. What options are available for customizing visualizations on the dashboard?
Yeah, so we work with anybody and everyone to kind of create the dashboard that they need. That'll take some time, but we have professional services that can generate what you need if you want to work with us to get something that's not shown in the default event intelligence dashboard.
Okay. I think, let me just check really quickly. I think, oh, here's a question that we should go with. Is this another level or a la carte option to add on to the app with additional costs?
We're thinking about this holistically, and we want to work with you to get this as part of your package. So I would just encourage you to reach out to your representative, or just Slack us in the or mention us in the chat. We'll reach out to you. But yeah, we want everyone to have access to this. So please reach out to us.
Great. Thank you, Bruce. I think that will be our last question for today. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We really appreciate you taking the time. When this webinar is complete, you will have a survey pop up on your screen. We would love your feedback, so please fill that out if you have the time. Additionally, I know we mentioned the iPad giveaway. So again, please make sure you fill out the survey and we will reach out and get in touch with the winner shortly after the webinar. Thank you so much for your time and have a great rest of the day.
Thanks, y'all.
Thanks,
Have a
guys.
great day. All right, bye-bye.